Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Before we get into today's video, please do me a small favour. If you're watching for the first time, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Apologies for the lack of videos over the last few days. I was away in Wales, came back yesterday, but I am back now. Looking forward to the game tonight. I want to get your score predictions in the comment section below. How am I feeling about this game tonight? Well, it'll be nothing short of a disaster if Manchester United don't go through. We're 3-0 up. The tie, to me, should be over. You win 3-0 away from home. There shouldn't really be any chance of a comeback here, but we are Manchester United. And unfortunately, we're Manchester United, to me, means nothing is ever finished until it's finished. If they get an early goal, the mood at Old Trafford is probably going to drop pretty quickly. I'm not worried though. I'm very, very confident we'll do the job tonight. I think to be able to beat them 3-0 away from home, it would be a disaster. It would be an absolute disaster if we didn't go through tonight. And on top of that, when you look at the travelling squad for Athletic Club, I believe, I'm just trying to find the story. I know they're missing Inaki Williams. Yeah, so Inaki Williams is missing. Nico Williams is also missing. And Sunset is missing. So 3 of their kind of starting players haven't even travelled, including their best player, Inaki Williams. So not only are they 3-0 down, they're also missing 3 of their best players. And obviously the player who got the red card, the defender, I can't remember his name. He's one of their more experienced defenders. He's obviously not going to be available either. So they're without 4 of their first team players. As I said, it would be an absolute disaster if we don't win tonight. We don't need to win. We need to not lose by 3-0 to go through. Even if we lose 3-2, we still go through. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a Manchester United win though. I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm gonna go 2-0. They didn't really pose any threat against us in the previous leg. I think they had a couple of chances early on in the game and we were looking a bit nervous, but overall, I don't think they were particularly threatening. So I'm going to go 2-0 Manchester United. But I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What's your score predictions? I would love to hear all of you guys' opinions on that. Right, let's see who's in the chat this morning. Where are we? Where is the chat? There's the chat. Let's have a look. Somebody saying, new Garnacho contract. Oh no. We'll talk about that in a minute. Stephanie says 2-1 to Manchester United. Yeah, I'm very, very confident. I think, especially now that they're missing 4 of their best players, 3 of them through injury and 1 of them through suspension. I think, yeah. I mean, you never can say never in football. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe they suddenly do put it together and. I just don't see it, is the short answer. I don't see them coming back from this. I think the game's done. I think Manchester United will win, and I'm going with 2-0 Manchester United. But I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Right, let's move on from that, though, and let's now talk about... Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I was away when this Bruno Fernandes story broke, so apologies for not being live to be able to bring you guys that story, but I was away on holiday. So the news in relation to Bruno Fernandes, obviously we all know that apparently Saudi club Al Hilal are trying to sign him. The question I've got for you this morning is, would you sell Bruno Fernandes? That's the big question. Let me know in the comment section. Would you sell Bruno Fernandes? We're going to do a poll for the live chat, so we do that. Should United sell Bruno Fernandes to Al Hilal? There you go. So anybody who's watching live can get involved in that poll, which I've just set up. Anybody who's watching back on repeat, obviously you can't get involved in the poll because it's only for the live chat. But you can get in the comment section to have your say. Would I sell Bruno Fernandes? I mean, if someone offers us... The story originally said that Al Hilal were ready to put in a Premier League record bid. I think the record at the moment is 115 million. So I am more than 115 million. say 120 million for argument's sake. Would I sell him for 120 million? It's a really hard one because it depends on what we went and did with that money. Because I do think he's going to be pretty difficult to replace. If you look at his stats for the season, in our worst ever season, right? He has got, let's have a look. We're what, 14th, 15th in the Premier League? This season, he's got 19 goals and 18 assists. Where would we be this season without Bruno Fernandes? I don't even want to imagine it. Would I sell him? I mean, if someone offers us 120 million, I think you have to start having that conversation. But at the same time, I know people will say, oh, he's 30 now. I feel like Bruno's one of those players who will just keep playing and playing and playing. And I feel like he could be the main man for the next 3 to 5 years for Man United, to be honest. I don't know. It's a really, really hard question. Would I sell him for 120 million? That should be the question. Because the story said that they were going to put in an offer of more than the current Premier League record, which is 115. Would I sell him for 120? If we had good owners, good scouting network, and I knew who the players were that were going to replace him, I probably would sell him. But we don't, and I feel like we'd sell him and then we'd just buy rubbish, and then we'd regret it. So my answer is no, I wouldn't sell him. But if we were like a Man City who seem to very rarely miss on transfers, or who else does well on transfers? I don't know, Brighton, or if someone said to me, we can sell Bruno Fernandes and we'll go and get 20 players from the South American League who are all like the quality of Moises Caicedo and will cost you 5 million each, and like something. I know that's a stupid example, but do you get the point I'm making? If someone effectively said you can completely rebuild your squad with 120 million and all of those players that you sign will be a hit and all of them will be worth 100 million in 3 years' time, obviously I would do that, but that's not going to happen, because if you look through like our last 20 signings, how many of our last 20 signings would you say have been a success? Maybe like 5, 6? Let's have a look for the summer, for example. So in the summer, we signed De Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Xerxes, Ugarte, and Dorgu. Sorry, that's in the last 12 months. De Ligt, I would say, has been a success. He's not been amazing, but I think he's been good. So I'd say like a maybe for him. Manuel Ugarte, I think, has been good. Lenny Yoro, I think, has been good. Xerxes, okay. Dorgu, okay. Mazraoui's been decent. Aiden Heaven's been decent. But like, none of those players I just mentioned there would you say have been like world class for Man United this season, have they? Like Aiden Heaven's young, so let's not really include him. Mazraoui was good at points, but then kind of fell off. Dorgu, very raw, probably not ready yet. Joshua Xerxes, a little bit confused about what his best position is. De Ligt, I think, is decent. I like De Ligt. I wouldn't say he's world class, but I'd say he's a good defender. Manuel Ugarte, I think, is decent. And Lenny Yoro, I think, again, is raw, but is decent. But the point I'm making here is, if you look at the money we spent in the last 12 months, we spent 246 million euros. So if we were to sell Bruno, we'd only get about 130, 140 million euros. Which, based on recent transfers, the money you'd get for Bruno would literally get you one Lenny Yoro, a Mazraoui, and an Ugarte. And if I said to you, we could sell Bruno Fernandes and instead we would have Lenny Yoro, Ugarte, and Mazraoui, what would you do? You'd obviously keep Bruno Fernandes, wouldn't you? So the point I'm making here is, I don't have much faith in the current scouting network, in the board. So yeah, I just don't think the money would be spent wisely. So I would say no. Somebody says we'd get Osimhen, Gyökeres, and Edison. Osimhen's 60 million, maybe more. Gyökeres is 60 million. That's already 120. And Edison's about 50. That's 170 million pounds there. So already, though, we wouldn't even be able to get those three players. You'd be able to get a Gyökeres and an Edison, probably. Just about. And then you'd still need an attacking midfielder because you would have sold your best attacking midfielder. So in relation to your example, if we were to sell Bruno and you're saying we could get Osimhen, Gyökeres, and Edison, we wouldn't be able to. One, because those three players' wages would probably be double what Bruno's is combined. and two, because the transfer fee would be nearly 60, 70 million more. So yeah, I don't know. Ant says, what about if we were to sell Bruno and get Edison and Wharton? I mean, I like the sound of those two players. I don't know. But anyway, let's go back to the news. So the news this morning is that apparently Bruno Fernandes is set to reject this proposal from Saudi Arabia. Fair play to Bruno. I mean, he's rejecting Saudi to play for a Manchester United team who are... I mean, if we win the Europa League, the season will end up being a success, and the Premier League finish will kind of be... It won't be forgotten, but like people will push it to the side a little bit. But yeah, apparently he's going to reject the offer, and apparently Manchester United don't want to sell him, which I guess is positive. Maybe you do want to sell him though. I don't know. It's difficult. I know a lot of people I speak to are like, blame Bruno Fernandes for giving the ball away and for this and for that and all of these other things. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to predict, isn't it? Because, you know, we might sell him and then next thing you know, we might be even worse than we are now. We might sell him and we might be better. There's no way anybody in this chat can say definitively whether we would be better or worse. Maybe our play style changes. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's been so good that it would be stupid to sell him. Right. Let's move on from that, though. Let's talk about... Obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section, guys. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, that's obviously totally fine. Let me know in the comments. Very interested to see what you all have to say. Right, let's move on from that, though, and let's talk a little bit about Garnacho. So the story this morning is that apparently Garnacho wants to stay at Manchester United, but he does want a new contract. How do people feel about that? Should Garnacho be given a new contract to Manchester United? Would you keep Garnacho? This is a little bit more of a complicated one, I think, because Garnacho definitely has heaps of potential. We know that. He definitely could go on to be... I'm not sure if he could be one of the best players in the world, but I think he could be like... He could be up there, you know? Maybe not up there. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch of the imagination. He's a decent player. He's young. He's got potential. He's exciting. He's a flair player. He gets you off your seat. Is he the best in the world at the moment? No. Stats-wise, though, stats-wise this season, he has been pretty good. But yeah, apparently he wants a new contract if he's going to stay at Manchester United this summer. How do we feel about that? Would you give Garnacho a new contract? I don't think I'd give him a new contract, to be honest. Let's have a look at how long he's got left on his current deal. So Garnacho at the moment, his contract expires in 2028. Yeah, I wouldn't give him a new deal. He's got 3 years left on his deal. I don't really see the urgency around it. I think if you're going to sell him, now's a good time to sell him, though. Whilst he's still got 3 years left on his deal. But, yeah, I definitely wouldn't give him a new contract. I don't think he's... I mean, at the end of the day, right, Manchester United have had their worst ever Premier League season. I don't think any players should be rewarded with new contracts. Like, there's no argument to be like, oh yeah, Garnacho deserves a new contract. It's like, we're going to finish like 14th, 15th, and he started most of the games. So, yeah, for me, it's a no. I definitely wouldn't give him a new contract. If he had like 6 months left on his deal, obviously I would. Yeah, I don't know. Right. But yeah, you can let me know. Let's see what people are saying in the chat about that. Lots of people still talking about Bruno. I think Bruno's on about 50 grand a week at the moment. think he's on around 50 grand a week. Sorry, not Bruno, Garnacho. Bruno's on like 300k a week. Yeah, Bruno's on mega money. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't give him a new contract, Garnacho. Definitely not. Right, what else have we got? Obviously, we've got the big game tonight. There's not really any other transfer news to discuss. Let's have a look. What's going on with Rashford? I don't know, mate. Rashford's injured, isn't he? So he's probably going to come back to Manchester United. And it will probably drag on all summer, this saga around Marcus Rashford. Apparently he doesn't want to stay. Yeah, apparently he doesn't want to stay in at Aston Villa. Which I guess is not surprising. But yeah, I don't know. See what else people are saying in the chat this morning. Where are we? Here we are. Was he actually? Is Rashford in Dubai? Is he? In the beach club? Genuinely, or are you just trolling me? But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Rashford. It's something to think about in the summer. I don't really want to think about it now. It's just going to be something we talk about for like 3 months, and then we'll probably end up loaning him out again. That's probably the latest on Marcus Rashford, realistically. You know, we can say, oh, Barcelona want him, or PSG want him, or, you know, whatever else. But the fact of the matter is, we'll probably be talking about him for the whole summer, and we'll probably end up having to loan him out to somebody because nobody wants him. That's the reality of the matter. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not try and sugarcoat it. Yeah, I don't know whether you guys agree or disagree, but that's how I see it. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up, guys. I will be live after today's video. Everybody, I hope you have an amazing day, whatever you're doing. Hopefully Manchester United win tonight. I will be live for a match reaction at about, what will it be, about 10 o'clock UK time? So yeah, have a great day, everybody. 62% of people watching the video don't want to sell Bruno, by the way, and 38% of you do. So there you go. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.